So this whole entire saga of JasonTheWeen and Sakura had started off as something that was just a little bit like really entertaining for a stream. You know, I wasn't necessarily watching it myself. I was more like just consuming it through Twitter, because whenever I flick through Twitter, I always see streamer stuff pops up all the time on my feed, right? Especially because, you know, videos that I make on my channel. So I always like to keep up to date with what's going on in, you know, streamer world, content creators, because even though I don't like, you know, necessarily watch it directly, I do find it somewhat interesting. But to me, this just got like to the point where it's ridiculous. And to me, this is like just, it's not even just this subject itself and this instance, but it's more of like an overall thing of when it comes to streamers, right? And that's got to do with like the parasocial behavior that a lot of viewers end up getting. And I feel like streamers do feed into that at some point. But before we get into that, we have to like go through of what happened and what really led up to this whole entire situation. There's a little bit to get through, but obviously you need context in order to, like, you know, get to what the point that I want to make and why I think it's absolutely stupid. But if you don't know who these two are, right, JasonTheWeen, he's a massive Twitch streamer. I'm pretty sure he started off making TikToks a few years ago. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's how he started off. And then he's like, you know, transitioned into becoming a streamer. He's part of FaZe Clan now. He's a huge streamer. And Sakura, she's a streamer as well, but like, at least from what I know, she has pretty much become like a little bit famous in the streaming world because she is sisters with Kaide. And Kaide and Tens, they've been a couple on Twitch for years now. Both of them are great streamers and big streamers on their own respectively as well. But from what I've seen, Sakura, she's basically like, you know, built a platform off being, you know, Kaide's sister. And I don't know too much about her content. I've never really watched her, but she could be a great content creator, a great streamer on her own anyways. But these two decided to, like, I'm not sure how exactly they linked up, right? But they started to do a couple like streams together. They started to talk a little bit. And at one point, JasonTheWeen, he asks Sakura to go with him to a prom that some other content creator named Funny Mike was hosting. He was hosting like this streamer prom, which it's basically all it is. If you don't know what it is, it's like a ball. A whole load of people get together. There's music, there's dancing. Everyone dresses up in suits. So that's all it is. It's basically just like a content creator event. That's all this was, right? It's great for content. That's basically what it is. Set it up for content. Streamers do events all the time, right? And they started to link up. After he asked her out to go with him to this streamer prom, she said yes. They started to hang out on stream. I think at one point they were actually seen like coming out of the airport together as well. So obviously with this, a lot of people started to hook onto it, right? Straight from this, a lot of people started to get a little bit parasocial and started to go in it too much, you know. And it started to lean in a lot on the day of the prom, right? Things started to get really heavy. Like I saw, apparently that would like the numbers that Jason was getting on the stream was huge, right? Because every single person that was there, everyone was streaming it, everyone was making content off it. And at one point, when they're like started to get ready to leave to the prom, Sakura actually goes in and kisses JasonTheWeen on the cheek. And once again, this starts to ramp up a lot of parasocials. They go to the streamer event as well. And things all seem to be going well until at one point, Sakura, she has her nails done. And on her nail, she has J, right? And Jason thinks that it's for him. But at some point, she actually says that it's for his cameraman. Because apparently his cameraman has a name. I can't remember his name. But it does start with a J. And I don't have the exact clip, but I do have someone reacting to it. I couldn't find the original clip for some goddamn reason.
Wait, she's talking about J for John the cameraman? John the cameraman? Oh my god! Oh, what?
Damn, somebody text you?
Wait, what? She's gotta be kidding.
Bro.
It's a script. It has to be a script.
It's okay, gang.
This obviously stirred up a lot of shit on stream. And from this, right, Jason started like crashing out. He called up Kaide at some point. I don't know why he did that. And then Kaide started giving him like advice on stream. And then Sakura was left in front of the camera at one point. She's like asking the cameraman for advice. Things started to get really awkward. And like people started to get so much fucking invested in it. It was insane. At one point, Kyrie Irving, no, I'm not joking you, Kyrie Irving was watching the stream. Even this man was getting invested in it. When I saw that, I was just like, holy shit. Like, that's how fucking big this is, and that's how many people have gotten invested into this. But because, like, Sakura made this, to me, I saw it as a joke. I didn't see it as her being serious, right? And all of this, right, it may be a part of it was real, right? Especially as a dude, you say you have a pretty girl next to you, you're just gonna go like, damn, she's pretty. I hope things could go right. But it's at the end of the day, it is a stream. Right? It's all for entertainment. And even if there are certain things there, some people should just learn to like be able to separate things that like, you know, from the stream into their own life. But this started to get so out of hand, right? That Sakura actually started to receive fucking death threats. That's right. She started to receive death threats and massive harassment in her DMs, all because of this situation. And Jason even had to put out a statement about this, talking if they could please stop all of this stuff. And someone actually retweeted as well, because he put it in like on Twitter. He didn't put it just directly on Twitter. He put it in like the group that he has on Twitter. You know how Twitter has like groups. He put it in on that. And then someone also retweeted it saying, I'm gonna say the obvious, but some people really need to understand that if you DM anyone that's been on Jason's stream, you need to get your life together. It's not normal behavior. Content is never that serious. And even if it was, it's definitely not your business to stick to the W spams. 100%. Like, even if this was serious, even if Jason himself was getting had some feelings for Sakura as the stream was going on, as the few days that they've hung out, maybe even behind the scenes, you know, they are starting to mingle a little bit and maybe a relationship is building. It's still none of these people's business. Like, you're not actively part of their life. The amount of people that gain these fucking parasocial relationships just from viewing these streamers is absolutely insane. And you know what? Streamers, I reckon that they are at fault as well. As much as, yes, a lot of the viewers themselves are to blame of when it comes to this, because if you don't know how to just stay out of someone else's business, and the fact that a lot of these people that end up watching these streamers, they end up feeling like they are their friends. It's just like, you're not. They actually don't know who you are. They really, really don't. You're just a viewer. That's it. But they like start to think that they're actually part of their lives, right? And once again, I think that streamers sometimes lean into this, because I saw a clip of Ludwig where he talked about this briefly on stream, and he started to mention as though when he saw Jason and Sakura on stream, that it was like, oh, it's like me and Cutie were back in the day when we first started to go on a date.
And they were making a song, like a love song, and I was like, dude, this is like an insanely elevated version of me and Cutie's first date. Because me and Cutie's first date was a stream, you know? And we've been dating for 6 years. It was 6 years ago this week I uploaded the video.
And I feel like when streamers say shit like that, it's just like, I don't know why Ludwig would go ahead and say this, because it's like, bro, you're just feeding into it. You're just feeding in to this whole entire parasocial relationship shit. That's all you're fucking doing. And like with streamers, it's worse than any of them. All right, like content creators in the past, YouTubers, right? YouTubers have always had these parasocial weirdos. But when it comes to streamers, it's like a whole nother level, because you're experiencing what they're experiencing at the exact same time, right? They're like the streamers are interacting with chat. You donate to a streamer, they'll say, hey, thanks, man. Thank you so much for this. And then they'll read your message. And then people, especially people who don't have any real friends, lock onto that, and they just like, you know, it gains into their fucking brain. But it's just like, it goes too far of when you start to send people harassment. Like, it's fine to be a bit invested in streams, right? There's nothing wrong with being a little bit invested and hoping things go well. And if things don't go well, going like, damn, man, I wish things worked out. But then like the point where they start to send death threats is just fucking stupid. Like, how fucked in the head? And I tell you what, I bet majority of them are like 16 years age, no older. Which to me, I would say that makes it even worse. The fact that these people are kids and they are sending others death threats. But one good thing, at least, that came out of this, even though this whole entire situation just went from like, oh, really cute, entertaining stream, you know, a bit humble, oh, things didn't work out, to absolutely crashing it and just being ridiculous with death threats, is that a whole load of people from Jason's community, because obviously he has a big fan base, right? So there's going to be a lot of good people, you'd hope, in a fan base. And they actually did go onto Sakura's stream, onto her Twitch, and they started like sending her and gifting her like a whole load of subs, which is great to see, for the fact that, you know, he came out, made a statement about this, saying to do better and to say to stop sending her, you know, harassment and death threats. And then his community answers with, like, you know, sending her a whole load of subs in the end. So it's great to see, at least, that, you know, there are some good people in the streaming world, even though there's a whole load of parasocial fucking weirdos. I would definitely like to hear what you guys think about this whole entire situation down below. I think that streamers themselves should learn to try and engage with their audience and to try and somehow stop parasocial like behavior, because I definitely think that streamers, they could do something more of when it comes to shit like this. But that's going to be it from me. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Peace out.